Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. Today's topic is how semantic search works in vector database. When semantic search topics comes, first thing we all know that it searches very fast. It searches very fast and it's so expensive. Why it's so expensive and why it's so faster? Let's step by step process. We'll find out why it's faster and why it's so expensive. First, we require one data vector database table. Here I have one raw data which is in PDF format which contains 10,000 pages. Some X company is there. That data they want to store this information into a vector database. So for that they chosen Pinecone vector database. There are so many different vector databases, popular vector databases. ChromeDB is there like that. For example, I have taken Pinecone vector database. This is vector DB. Now, when they want to store this data into vector database, it doesn't store raw data directly here. There is a process here. What process? First, this raw data makes chunks and thus chunks into a tokens. First chunks, tokens. Then it creates the token IDs. Those token IDs are converted into the embeddings. And this process I have explained already in my previous video tutorials. And those explanations I am not telling again here. But if you want, I will drop those video links in my description, So now the raw data is inserted here. It's saved in the vector database. So how the data has been stored inside this data? So now this raw data is storing inside this PDF. PDF is stored here already, now saved here inside. But the process of storing is totally different. Imagine this is a database. Now this database splits into two parts. One for the embeddings. Embeddings are 0.12, 0.32, 0.15 like that. These are called embeddings, vector embeddings. And these vector embeddings stores in a special table called embeddings table. Now the second one is to store metadata table. And before I have explained, this raw data is stored entirely in a single format. It's divided into a small parts, and that small parts is saved into this metadata table. And when it's storing the data, that small parts, paragraphs like that, it creates one special IDs. Like primary IDs, how it creates also the IDs also. At the same time here also in the embeddings also it creates one IDs. And one between these two tables, the common thing is the IDs are both common. So there is a link. IDs both are common here. But this embedding table is not storing in normal hard disk. So embedding table don't store in the hard disk, it stores in the RAM. So embeddings always stores in the RAM only. Vector embeddings always stores in the RAM. And this meta table data, user data. So user understanding table like normal language, English, something like that. That kind of data is stored in the metadata, and that metadata table in the hard disk. Now we divided the data, that raw data, into embeddings, one table, embedding table that stores in the RAM, and metadata table in the hard disk. And we all know that the RAM is very expensive compared with hard disk. Imagine the data is increasing, we should increase the RAM size also. That's why it's so expensive. And it's faster. RAM's always faster. That's why we use in big gaming computers, we use the RAM size, and GPUs, we use RAMs. And not only RAMs, in big companies, they use vector databases, GPUs also, to improve the search faster. They use GPUs also. That's why the cost of productions of those companies will very huge, expenses are more. Embeddings always stores in the RAM. Metadata table stores in the hard disk. Now we have separated, but one common thing is the IDs must be same. It creates automatically. Now the question is, how RAM searches faster? So think this is a RAM. It stores one for the IDs, 1, 2, 3 like that. Now RAM receives this embeddings. Now internally there is a one graph, vector graph is there. This vector graph is more powerful. Because of this graph only, vector graph only, it searches very fast. Once the embeddings, billions of thousands of embeddings receives this RAM, this vector graph will arrange the data embeddings. So now this vector graph knows what embeddings is where. Not only arrange the data in a proper order, it also arranges the links, like how it searches when, suppose for example, a user comes here in a chat GPT. He types I love cars in chat GPT, click OK. It doesn't go to the RAM. We need to convert this into embedding. So internally it generates very fast, convert this into a tokens, and that tokens convert into IDs, and that IDs will be embeddings. For example, for this I love cars, 0.12, 0.12, 0.32, 0.11 like that. This embeddings. Now this embeddings will go to this RAM. Vector graph will receive this data. Once vector graph receives this temporary embedding, it will compare with the inside the RAM embeddings, what the nearest embeddings matching to this user embeddings. That will collect with the links. You got links here, no? That will collect with the links very fast. You don't check each and everything, because this vector graph is already arranged in a specific order. That order is no vector graph. Based on that knowledge, it reads this user embeddings and finds the nearest matching embeddings fast. For example, this vector graph got 5 embeddings here. So those 5 IDs it will collect. Embedding IDs will collect the vector graph IDs and send to the vector database hard disk. This hard disk contains our metadata table. The IDs will match here. What IDs is match here? That information will pick and send to this user. That's it. Once user receives the data, this temporary embeddings will disappear. It doesn't store anywhere. Disappear. That's it. If you like this video tutorial, please subscribe, share and leave your valuable comment. And please click the bell icon. If you have any doubt, please drop your question or in the comment section. I will get back to you.